fighting out of Inglewood Cliffs by way of Philadelphia, entering the ring with just 2 hours of sleep, the Prime Minister of par value, the Baron of the balance sheet, Jimmy, the cash man, Cramer.
You know, you got to break the mold and do this stuff because you know I love these guys because this is a great story to tell. And if I may say also, it's good to be right. Less than 10 months ago, I came out here and told you that World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, a company that I had not liked that much, candidly, was ready to rumble. Company that brings you WrestleMania and Monday Night Raw was in the midst of a difficult but major transition, shifting from a pay-per-view model for its premium content to a more stable subscription model, but also, frankly, lots of other ways to make money. Sure enough, the stock has caught fire, climbing over 50% since then, thanks in part to the phenomenal quarter WWE delivered late last October. I know that professional wrestling may not be for everybody, but it has just a huge global audience, and the company keeps figuring out better and better ways to monetize all those viewers. So can the stock keep soaring like a wrestler off the top rope? Or is there a chance it could get body slammed? We don't know. Let's talk with George Barrios. He's the CFO of WWE to learn more about his company's transformation and where it is headed. Mr. Barrios, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Good to see you. Well,
and
you know,
who says that professional wrestling isn't for everybody?
Well, you're right. Strauss Zelnick, who is the CEO of Take-Two, said it's only for the people who would say that they don't like it because they haven't been.
That's what I like to hear. Next, I'll tell you, in a couple of months, I'm going to Mumbai. You're coming with me.
Mumbai, my wife just got back from Mumbai. You're there, too?
Of course.
Well, but you're also going to be about 5 blocks from me on Monday night. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, look, it gets to what you were talking about, the more recent transformation. The reality is Vince McMahon has transformed this company multiple times, and one of the biggest markers of that will be celebrating our 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. It's amazing. It started January 11th, 1993 at the Manhattan Center.
Okay.
I watched. 25 years later, now we're going to have Monday Night Raw from 2 locations. Barclays, great building in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And we're going to also have it at the same time at the Manhattan Center to relive those old days. So
well,
it's really
congratulations.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, it's really exciting.
There's this thing going on about where Amazon's going to put headquarters.
Okay.
What happened when you guys went to Orlando? How much money did you pump in that economy?
Geez, every time we go to a market with WrestleMania, it's somewhere between $50 and $75 million a year.
People don't know that. That's a Super Bowl wherever you go.
Look, you Google Forbes top sports brands, right? Just Google it right now.
Right.
We're either 4, 5, or 6 every single year with the Super Bowl, the Olympics, WrestleMania is right there. Yeah, so it's an amazing event.
I want you to talk about the transformation. Admittedly, I was a doubter initially because I didn't see it coming. But, boy, were you ever smart about it. A one-of-a-kind media company executing successful transformation. You got to talk about the likes. You got to talk about your social media, the number globally, because the numbers are staggering here.
Yeah, so, let's talk about broader context. Vince McMahon buys the business 35 years ago. It is a Northeast touring ticketing business.
Right.
That's it, right? 10 years later, it's touring across the U.S. Another 10 years, it's a global media company. And today, we're one of the leaders in digital, social, and direct-to-consumer. So, yeah, when you look at WWE, we've got 850 social media followers, more than any sports brand in the world.
Does anyone else have that?
Okay. Number 2 sports channel in the history of YouTube. Right? Number 1 sports channel, number 2 channel overall. So, number 1 sports channel, number 2 overall. We've done 1.2 billion engagements. Crazy stat. 2010, we did 500 million video views on the internet.
Okay.
20 billion this year.
20 billion?
20 billion. So 40 times where we were in the last 8 years.
You know, this brand is so much larger than the stock price is the way I look at it. One of the reasons why we wanted to get in front of it is because we said, if you just go global, if you just think about your merchandise, if you think about all the different ways that you have figured out how to get in front of people and pay, they pay because you're a loved brand.
Yeah. Well, look, to the monetization, back in 2008 or so, we were doing $450 million. We agree, under-monetized.
Right.
We retooled the company. I mean, when you were unfavorable back in 13, 14, that's what we were doing. We were re-engineering the next wave of growth. We're now up to about $800 million, so we've seen about 70% growth since 2008. And we think there's a lot more runway, Content, continued global growth, and the direct-to-consumer digital has turned us into a data powerhouse.
We'll talk about that because you're the only company I know that actually has an ecosystem in sports. You have a lot of companies that have something to do, but they're owned by, it's the TV networks play too much, or they can't sell enough seats, so they don't know how to monetize the web, so they give it away. You've sliced and diced it, and you make money for everybody.
Well, you hit it. And the slicing and dicing, we call it tiering the content.
Right.
A lot of people take the content and put it all over all the different platforms, and it cannibalizes. Right. What we do is we say we're going to have certain content for pay television, 5 hours live every week, Raw and SmackDown, 260 hours a year. Then we're going to create about 600 hours for YouTube, Facebook, our own and operated, different content.
Right.
And then we're going to do about 400 hours on our direct-to-consumer network to super serve our most passionate fans. So all those different platforms, different content. That's why it raises all boats.
All right, one last question. There are people who think that even the most pristine sports, NFL, fatigue. I do not see fatigue developing with WWE. I see acceleration right here.
Yeah, look, we have this unique element. I was talking about India. So India is the #1 country in terms of consuming WWE video in the world.
How's that possible?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why it's possible. Two things. First, storytelling. You went to Harvard, right? I'm sure. English lit class. You read Joseph Campbell. Not Shakespeare. Joseph Campbell wrote The Monomyth. The hero's journey.
My daughter loves Joseph Campbell.
Amazing, right? He said every culture throughout human history tells stories the same way. Right. Heroes, enemies, overcome. So John Cena, Katniss Everdeen, Luke Skywalker, it's the hero's journey.
Right.
The second thing is our sport centers around the ring. It's the simplest thing.
Right.
Everyone understands it. That's why India is our #1 market in terms of consumption.
Well, look, I want to congratulate you. I didn't become a believer. It took me too long. But thank heavens I got people in ahead of time for the big move. All right, that's George Barrios. He's the CFO of WWE. It's a real story. It is still very, very early. Mad Money's back in. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.